Good morning. All right, everybody sit down. What we're looking at today is SCP-2792, Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-2792 is to be contained in Secure Holding Cell 368, on Site 45C. SHC-368 has been modified to tolerate a minimum internal temperature of -225 degrees Celsius. Equipment and luxuries expected to interact with SCP-2792 must also be equipped to survive these conditions. SHC-368 must be equipped with a high-capacity heating vent to counteract extreme cold in the case of an emergency or emotional instability. All personnel entering SHC-368 are to wear at least Class A insulated environmental suits. If for any reason SCP-2792 leaves its cell, all Site 45C personnel must vacate to either Site 45A or Site 45B. In accordance with Hayward Protocol, SCP-2792 is allowed counseling every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Description: SCP-2792 is the collective term for SCP-2792-1 and SCP-2792-2. SCP-2792-1 is a white rabbit doll with red hands and legs, black button eyes, and gauze cloth wrapped around its head, neck, and wrists. It is composed primarily of polyester cotton and has a core temperature of approximately -210 degrees Celsius. With SCP-2792-2 inhabiting it, SCP-2792-1 is capable of movement at speeds ranging 4 kilometers an hour. The temperature surrounding SCP-2792 is lowered to an extreme degree, reaching -45 Celsius on average, but this does not come from SCP-2792-1 directly. If left uncontained, the weather within a 72-kilometer radius will be similarly altered, often causing blizzard or extreme snowfall conditions. SCP-2792 is capable of consciously lowering the surrounding temperature, but is unable to raise it past -21 degrees Celsius. If not focusing on managing its effects, the temperature will return to -45 degrees Celsius. SCP-2792-2 is former Agent Sarah Crowley. SCP-2792-2 is 197 centimeters tall, suffering from Stage 1 SCP-1903 infection, and has become a semi-corporeal entity. Despite this, SCP-2792-2 exhibits greater strength than that formerly observed in Agent Crowley. Before designation, Agent Sarah Crowley died while exploring SCP-1619. SCP-2792-2 is capable of inhabiting SCP-2792-1 and controlling it as if it were a body. SCP-2792 instances cannot be further than 5 meters away from each other. If moved away from SCP-2792-1, SCP-2792-2 will disappear and will reappear inhabiting SCP-2792-1. SCP-2792 has a known connection to a Brutus-class demigurg entity known as Sari, who originated and died in SCP-2746. Agent Sarah Crowley, SCP-2792, and Sari are expected to have been the same person at different points in time. SCP-2792's effect on the surrounding temperature is suspected to be related to Sari, who was often associated with harsh blizzards in SCP-2746. Addendum 2792-1. SCP-2792 was found on 12/20/2000 in the Mojave Desert, unintentionally causing a large-scale ground blizzard. Information on this event could not be concealed due to the resulting blizzard reaching Las Vegas, but ties to SCP-2792 or any Foundation involvement were successfully contained. Currently, the blizzard has been publicly labeled as a freak weather event. SCP-2792 was found near a previously airtight case produced by Prometheus Labs, which SCP-2792 broke while trying to free itself. Forward, 2792. The following is a collection of logs and interviews pertaining to SCP-2792's time spent with Prometheus Labs, as well as recovered documentation from Prometheus Labs. Due to SCP-2792's history with the Foundation, other SCP files may be referenced. These documents are provided under jurisdiction of Hayward Protocol and may only be viewed by Site 45 psychiatric staff, those who are testing it like you, staff with specialized 2,792 clearance, the current Site 45 administrator, and those, like yours truly, with O5 designations. Interview 2792-0. Interviewed is SCP-2792, referenced as Sarah. The interviewer is Dr. Crott. Forward. This interview took place after SCP-2792's identity as Agent Sarah Crowley was confirmed to be true, days after containment. Dr. Crott was chosen because of their family relations to SCP-2792 while it was employed by the Foundation. SCP-2792 was referred to as Sarah by Dr. Crott over the course of this interview. Begin log. Note, the agent's voice on the tape has been altered in order to protect her.
Well, hello, Sarah.
Sarah? Not SCP, whatever my number is? I take it you found better evidence than just how I know why there was a fist-shaped hole in the ladies' locker room in 1930?
Yeah, we did. And, yes, you and Stuart.
I can't believe you remembered that after all these years. When did I tell you that? I think it was when I was drunk off my ass during the Halloween party eons ago.
Well, it was pretty memorable, don't you think? We still have that huge dent you left in one of the lockers to admire.
Wait, seriously? It's been almost 40 years? Is it still working?
Miraculously.
Damn! Well, at least they replaced the sinks.
Yes, well, it's good to know that you're making light of all this. A good sign that you're recovering. Do you think you're ready to talk about your time at Prometheus?
I can try. Can you just, I don't know, go through Prometheus's medical records or something?
We can and we are. But the most we're getting out of this is Dr. Alva's personal notes. You really want the notes to be the only input we have on what happened? Besides, it's good for you to vent.
I guess, but first I heard something about Hayward Protocol. Could you tell me what that is? What does it have to do with Stuart?
If I tell you, will you stop stalling?
Yeah.
It guarantees safe and comfortable conditions for well-behaved sapient skips. Mostly patient-doctor confidentiality, counseling, sources of entertainment, that kind of thing. Stuart was able to get it passed for Site 45 while he was an admin.
Oh, that's nice. Do you think I could see him?
I'll put a word in.
You'll put a word in. Seriously? It's been God knows how long, and all you're gonna do is put a word in? Thanks, I guess.
It's the most I can do. I'm not even sure if it's okay to be discussing this.
Why wouldn't it be okay to talk about him? Did something happen to him? What's going on?
No, it's just, you know how it goes, red tape. So, what happened at Prometheus?
Dr. Alva's a sadistic fuck is what happened. They had a problem with me from day one. I don't even know them, but apparently the quack knew me. Fucker drugged me. A lot. Is that good enough for you?
Did they hurt you? Physically?
As a matter of fact, yes. When they did... Can we stop? Look, I don't want to talk about them.
We do need to talk about this sometime.
You don't think I know that? I said I don't want to talk about them now, Crot. Jesus! What have I got to say to get your fat face to shut up? You want to talk? How you start by cutting the shit about Stuart, huh? Look, you can just fuck off, okay? I'm not in the mood to deal with this shit.
Sure thing, Sarah.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I'll talk about it, just not now. If you give me a copy or whatever, I'll add it to verify it or whatever. I don't think I'm capable of talking at the moment.
I understand. I'll show myself out. Just remember, take care of yourself.
Now, once Dr. Crott left SHC-368, the temperature lowered to an extreme degree. SCP-2792 moved itself to its bed and placed itself under the covers and against the wall 2 minutes after the interview. Initial assessment, Crafter 004 by Prometheus Labs. The patient name, Sarah Crowley. Number 4, also known as Sorry. ID number. Date, March 27, 1960. Time, 1845. History. Sarah Crawley is a former crafter and a former SCP Foundation agent. Between her and Stuart Hayward, her partner, she was the first to die and inherit an artificial body. Note, said body is a doll that has been designed by Administrator Agatha White. Sarah has shown phenomenal strength and vitality while human, which is expected to return in her secondary presence. Status. Patient has become very weak as a result of the doll she is bound to. However, her secondary presence is expected to surpass her former faculties and reach post-war crafter level after her planned treatment. Her recovery is showing promise. The temperature around the patient lowers over time. This effect is expected to increase as she recovers and becomes more like her original form. This is a reflection of her role and status in instructions, recommendations, plan. The doll the patient is bound to has been designed to simulate the effects of foreign agents once they have been intentionally injected into its core. This is to aid the administration of daily vitamins, nutrients, and prescribed agents. The goal of the patient's care is to make her stay seem as quick and painless as possible via regularly administered sleep aids while encouraging a steady recovery of her secondary presence. It has also been treated to increase durability so that the patient will not have to self-repair post-recovery. Patient stay is to last until her partner, Stuart Hayward's current human presence expires. No further action will be taken on behalf of Prometheus Labs to accelerate or delay his arrival. Patient will remain in the care of Dr. Alva and their team until then. This is document 2792-2. Now, the following are examples of the notes left behind in Dr. Alva's computer. Most of the notes were held in encrypted files, held alongside copies of SCP-2792's prescription notes. March 27, 1960. I'm not sure how to process this. I just joined this place to redeem myself in the eyes of my partner. I never imagined after putting in all this work into showing him I'm a changed person, this despot would fall right into my lap. I almost couldn't hide my disgust. When Agatha tasked me with showing her even a fraction of the civility I showed to those back home, why didn't I speak up? I wanted to get kicked off this assignment. Whatever, I'll see if I can lug this off onto someone else. March 28, 1960. Miss White's debrief on what she wants done was finally delivered. I know we'd have some conflicts of interest, but I didn't expect them to be so easy to deal with. All she wants is time to pass quickly for the patient. How long does she think it'll take for him to die? I suppose it doesn't matter. This is easy to work with. I told her I can put her to rest until it's time for her to wake up. Should be painless. Lucky bitch. I wish I could just lie around and sleep all day. April 7, 1960. It's been a little over a week with this assignment. My mind keeps going back to a few days ago where I had a little more fun with it than I was previously allowed. The patient was lying there as usual, and it was time for me to switch her bags and whatnot. She's been making it fucking cold in here, and I was more preoccupied on that than what I was doing. I tried throwing a blanket over her, but it didn't work like I hoped. I remembered how cold it was. How cold she made it eons ago. Then I hit her, and I kept hitting her. I knew she couldn't feel it on account of the drugs, probably didn't even care. But I did. It felt better. I almost forgot I could get fired by doing that. In hindsight, though, I could technically do that again. I mean, there's only one surveillance of the halls, not of her actual room. I technically could go in there when I'm supposed to do my shit, clock her one when no one's looking. I could keep doing this every day if I wanted. Hell, she deserves worse. But there's not much a point to it if she can feel it outside of just mental fantasy. Is there? I might do it every once in a while. Call it stress relief. April 8, 1960. What if I just made up a reason to prescribe her tetrodotoxin? And even then, only administered that in terms of, like, sleep aid. I'm only really worried about the others. If they see me, they could get me fired. I'll only do it at night when they're out of the building. I know just the perfect strain that would paralyze her in such a way that she'd be, like, asleep, but really just be as awake and feeling everything. Not like the bitch can die this time. Fuck it. This is interview 2792, referenced as Sarah. The interviewer, once again, is Dr. Crott.
Hello, Sarah. You ready to talk? We have some questions for you.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Start from the beginning. Take your time with these. Do you know how much time has passed since you were under Prometheus's care?
Yes, I know I died on the 28th of March, 1960. It's been roughly 38 years, right?
Good, good. You're doing great. You said that you were directly handled by Dr. Alva. How much do you know about them?
They aren't human. They made claims to be some kind of immortal reality bender. I can confirm the immortal part, but nothing outside of that. One time, the sick fuck slit their throat just to freak me out. Outside of that, no. They're apparently a medical doctor. One who Prometheus trusted enough to take care of me.
Besides Alva, were there others who hurt you? You said they were an immortal. Do you think there are others like that?
No, Alva was the only one. Prometheus wanted me in a coma for the entirety of my stay, but that's it, and I don't know how many people were like Alva. I just saw what White did to them. She made them just disappear, just like that, so I think something is up with her, too.
And were you the only one being treated this way? Were you the only person under her care?
No, as far as I know, no.
Do you think they know any sensitive information regarding the Foundation?
White might. Alva, I doubt.
Any idea why you're in your current state?
Not really. It looks to me, I suppose, it works sort of like a possessible psychiatry that I'm bound to. If I'm going to be honest, I feel more comfortable like this. More so than when I was prior. I don't quite know how to describe it. To be frank, I think this was just the easiest way for them to get me back.
Speaking of, why do you think Prometheus did this to you?
I don't know. This isn't normally how they do things, is it? You'll have to ask the administrator.
I know this would be hard for you, but what did Alva do to you exactly? Take your time.
They started out by putting me on this drug. I was completely paralyzed, but I felt every single thing they did. Once they figured I was awake, they knocked the wind out of me, ripped out my IV, and threw me across the room. My arm felt like they tore it off. They fixed me up each time, but it only got worse. They even started recording everything for God knows why. They brought a baton with them one day, and thankfully, that was when one of them got caught.
Yeah, we saw. What do you think Alva was doing this for?
I was thinking about the same thing. One day they said they were doing all this out of revenge because they thought I was something named Sorry. They told me Sorry punished them. For what, I don't know, but knowing what they're capable of, they probably deserved it.
That was all I had. Thank you, Sarah. You did great. We'll let you know if we need anything else.
Don't mention it. But I'm still not over Stewart. Why won't you tell me anything about him? Is he dead? I need to know. You owe me that.
Stewart went through some changes. He died and was resurrected like you. He got classified as an SCP.
Oh. What happened?
He was created in Prometheus Labs, but something impersonated you while he was in there.
Oh no. Couldn't you vouch for me?
We could and would, but we just don't know how to yet. She hit him in a very emotional place. We don't know how he'd react to learning about you.
Just tell him. Tell him what I told you. Hell, give him my file, please.
I'll see if I can.
End log. Now, on January 5th, 1998, at 20:07, Prometheus Administrator Agatha White enters SCP-2792's room. The following was found on Dr. Alva's computer, recorded via camcorder. I'm going to go ahead and read you the transcript of the video. Now, Dr. White enters the room and sets her purse down by the door and approaches SCP-2792-1. Dr. White: Hey, sorry, how are you holding up? You probably can't hear me, and even if you did, you probably don't remember me. I just wanted to swing by since your time here is about to end. Hell, Prometheus is about to end. You'll see him soon. Yay, right? I'm sorry I haven't been there for you for the good part of 4 decades. It's terrible, I know. I was just so busy, you know, especially lately. I've been preparing, making losses as tiny as possible. Plus, if I'm going to be honest, I kind of just didn't want to see you like this. That's why I handed this whole thing off to Alva and never looked back until now. Anyway, I'll let you get back to it. Love you. She sets some papers down on the desk, but pauses. Dr. White: Wait, what's this prescription? Why did they prescribe you this strand? Wait, what's... Dr. White looks down and picks up a baton from underneath the desk. Afterwards, she begins to search the room, reading files and going through Dr. Alva's computer, appearing increasingly disturbed. End log. The following is the last recording regarding SCP-2792 before Prometheus's collapse on 1998. This log was found inside the container SCP-2792 was recovered in. See Addendum 2792-1. The log begins with Dr. Alva returning from vacation, locking the door behind them. I'm going to go ahead and read you the transcript of it. Dr. Alva. Hello, Princess. Good to be back, good to be back. Well, let's get your shots out of the way. Dr. Alva moves toward the medicine cabinet and collects several bottles and syringes, bringing them to SCP-2792-1. Dr. White unlocks and enters the room with 2 guards. Dr. Alva. Oh, hello, Administrator. What are you doing here? Dr. White. Nothing. Just to inform you that you are no longer working with Sari. You're done. Dr. Alva. Oh? So I suppose that means Stu's dead. Dr. White. Soon. But it's not the reason why I'm here. If it was, I wouldn't be here. Dr. Alva. Then why are you here? Dr. White. You know damn well why. Repeated abuse of a patient and God knows what else. Don't even get me started on what you did in slaver. Dr. Alva. Oh, you know about that, huh? Dr. White. Yes, I do. God, no one but him and Sari even knew, did they? Dr. Alva. There were a couple people. And don't talk to me about what I did. Everyone was guilty of something then, and you know it, hypocrite. I'm not going to sit here and pity myself about what I did back in... I don't regret a single person captured, sold, eaten, whatever. I accept the pain I caused. It was hell, and I did what I had to do to survive, as did you. So go ahead. Fire me. Dr. White. I had something else in mind. End log. At the end of this log, the room went dark, and their actions could not be made out. A gasp can be heard from Alva, but no other significant sound was detected. When the lights came back on, Dr. White and her guards were the only ones visible. Dr. White then adjusted her tie before turning off Dr. Alva's camcorder. Dr. Alva was not found after the collapse. This is Discharge Summary Crafter 004 by Prometheus Labs. Patient name Sarah Crowley. ID number... Date admitted 3/27/1960. Date discharged 1/8/1998. Time 9:55. Status. Patient is in worse condition than the administration was led to believe. While she is certainly healthy in terms of physical well-being, she has suffered severe pain and mental scarring at the hands of Dr. Alva. Dr. Alva is currently being handled by Administrator Agatha White, who is re-inflicting the punishments assigned to them in Instructions, Recommendations, Plan. Patient is to be handed to the SCP Foundation, as further care in Prometheus Labs will be highly problematic. She, along with Stuart Hayward, will be fully updated on their past lives before Insurgence has begun. Together, they will decide on their future actions and how they wish to respond to the insurgents. This is Disciplinary Order 2746-237. With no regret, we execute Alva's punishment for their atrocities towards our people. Alva served as an oracle of... They were little worth. We wish to say that their services were useful in better days, however, they were not. Prior to their current state, Alva took advantage of those less fortunate than them. Their punishment is deserved, and few will miss them. Prior to their current state, they had captured and organized the selling and trade of their brothers and sisters for the purposes of harvesting and engagement. Alva was discovered in the act of selling one of their brothers to a defect member of the Furies. The following orders, in lieu of crucifixion and relocation to the underplane, have been commissioned for Alva's punishment. Number 1, Alva's tongue is to be removed so that they can no longer spread their lies or charm those they wish to deceive. Number 2, they are to be butchered in a similar fashion by the way they have butchered others, cut, sliced, and amputated. Their flesh is not to be eaten so that we can set an example, to show that even through desperation, we are not like them. Number 3, each butchered piece of them are to be spiked and chained apart as opposed to be burned or eaten. This is so that they may know the bondage they have bestowed upon others. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was SCP-2792. You're dismissed.